of my best friends told me before. He was studying here at Hitotsubashi University, studying abroad, back in my second year. One day, he heard that there's going to be an international exchange event, or 国際交流 in Japanese. I think some of you are familiar with this term, but basically the concept is Japanese people and non-Japanese people interacting with each other to enhance cultural understandings. So he thought the party would be a great opportunity for him to get to know more people and make new friends. So he went there, and then people were talking. What was shocking to him, and also to me, was that people didn't talk to him at all. Maybe he was just shy, or maybe it was just coincidence. I don't know. But when he took a look at the whole situation in that moment, he realized that people were gathering around students of similar background, specifically white English-speaking students from North America or Europe. What has to be said about this situation? I would say this is a symbolic case which shows us the prevailing existence of racism in our daily lives. When we hear the word racism, sexism, or discrimination in general, we tend to imagine a situation where someone attacks someone else with words and deeds coming out of negative intentions. However, I will tell you, this is not how racism is perpetrated all the time necessarily. That is, we can commit racism in very subtle ways. We can hurt, oppress, marginalize someone even without realizing. That's why we have the conception of microaggressions, which refers to significant, maybe subtle, but still significant discriminatory behaviors targeted at a person or persons in marginalized groups. International Convention on the Elimination of Racism defines racism in this way. The important point here is that this convention clearly states that racism is racism if it has a negative intention or effect. As such, microaggressions are racism. In my friend's case, yes, maybe the people of the party didn't mean to be offensive or anything, but it is worth asking why they acted in a specific manner. Some of you are like, I've never acted or thought in that way. Well, I will get to this point later. So this was more like a community level or interpersonal level story. But I would also mention that oppression and discriminations are perpetrated on a societal level as well. For example, I often check the ads on my way to school on the train, and there are many ads on the English conversation schools. Looking at them, I always get surprised how white they are, racially white. Being able to speak and teach English has nothing to do with their ethnicities, because in this world, there are many people, various people who use English. Then, why does it have to be English, white people predominantly? This is a good example of how racialized stereotypes are socially reproduced in our daily lives. Go outside with this mindset, you will find a lot of similar situations. So the question we have been asking is not simply why people have racialized preferences, but rather it's about why does our society, including ourselves, have racialized preferences. Oppression and discrimination on individual levels are always sustained by societal and institutional norms, such as media, education, law, and common sense, etc., etc. So, and it is also important to mention that it is us, people, who shape these societal norms and systems. So it basically is like the chicken and egg metaphor. Therefore, fighting against discrimination and oppression of any kind is not possible without the continuous efforts of everyone to try to change the system and situation. Let's go back to international exchange. Going international, by definition, means not staying inside the domestic realm and getting outside of it. In this narrative, there is a binary, like dichotomy, of domestic and international. Then, what does domestic in this context mean? Japanese people or something Japanese, right? What about international? That's people from overseas or someone from overseas. So, the dichotomy of domestic and international is also the dichotomy of Japanese and non-Japanese. So by continuing the international exchange in this way, in this concept, we actually reinforce racialized essentialism. So promoting cultural diversity within the framework of international exchange like this would just lead us to accept these foreigners or something different and something different, which perpetuates the exclusion and marginalization. This is not the only negative consequence of international exchange. When we categorize people based on the binary, we tend to forget that there are diverse people within the categories also. That's the question of who do we mean by Japanese people, or who do we mean by international students? And it's when we stop asking these important questions, now we start to construct these racialized norms. In the case of English conversational schools, for example, we intellectually know that anyone can be an English teacher as long as the one has the skills to teach it. So their gender, or religion, or ethnicity shouldn't be a problem. However, looking at the ads, the teachers are still represented as white man predominantly. There's a saying, ignorance is the greatest form of violence. My point here is that it is through ignorance now we perpetuate the undermining system of oppression and discrimination. So if we do international exchange in this way, like being based on the binary of Japanese and foreign, or certificate configurations of Japanese people or of international students, we not only reproduce racialized stereotypes, but also invisibilize and ignore a lot of people's lives and presence in our community. Then, should we continue international exchange? In answering to this question, we shouldn't forget about the positive aspects of international exchange that are, by exposing ourselves to diversity, we can expand our horizons and start questioning the norms we have socially internalized. However, at the same time, in exploring diversity, we shouldn't obviously start from a simplifying binary of Japanese and foreign. Instead, we should start from acknowledging that we're all different, unique, and diverse. And this beautiful complexity cannot be captured in the binary image of Japanese and foreign. For example, I am Japanese born, I have Japanese citizenship. But I'm also from a specific place in Japan. I have a gender identity, I have sexual orientation, I have religion, etc., etc. So I am, and also you are, and people are so diverse. Let's question and go beyond the binary. All right, now we're able to see the complexity of people by going beyond the binary. However, I need to say that this is not enough in fighting against racism. Because even if each of us in this room try to get out of the racialized stereotypes, the rest of the world will still continue producing them. And it is also important that we acknowledge that we could, and actually would, continue to be racist by unconsciously internalizing and reproducing these racialized norms. So that's why I would like you all to think about the stereotype you have again carefully. If you feel like what I have been talking about is not relevant to you. So in fighting against racism, we should be attentive, very attentive about how these racialized norms and stereotypes are being constructed on a daily basis. So forgetting or unthinking race is not enough. In order to fight against racism, We need to mobilize categories strategically. Now you might be confused a little bit because I have been explaining, no, we shouldn't, categorize people based on binary, we should forget about race. But now I'm explaining, no, we shouldn't forget about race. This is kind of confusing, but I think this quote resolves that. Racism is real. Race is not. What's addressed in this quote is that, yes, race is a social construction, but at the same time, realistically speaking, racism does exist. So in order to get rid of racism, in order to get rid of racialized stereotypes, we need to find race, like racism, how racism is being perpetrated. And this is not possible if we just try to unthink and forget about race. This is why we should also continue to think about race strategically. In the case of international exchange, just forgetting about or unthinking racialized norms and binary is not enough. In order to go beyond the binary or stereotypes, we always have to look at how these racism or racialized stereotypes are being constructed. We have to find it and challenge it all the time. Right? For example, to be more specific, we should attentively watch how Japanese or foreigners are being constructed on the daily practice of international exchange. If we go beyond the binary of Japanese and foreign, and even become aware of the systematic structure that we're caught in, we would be able to understand each other more deeply. And by doing so, we can make this community a place where everyone is not silenced, but embraced, not oppressed, but respected. And we cannot make this happen without everyone's support and efforts. So I ask you to be part of that, because it's you who can make a difference in our community. Thank you so much.